So Shakur Stevenson just pulled up on Vasily Lomachenko and it did not go well. It was very heated, and a lot of people are talking about how this fight should have happened, a few years ago, maybe when they were both solid, with top rank. Now Vasily Lomachenko is kind of considering retirement, and obviously Shakur Stevenson with hanging out with Eddie Hearn a lot and watching all these events, looking like potentially signing with Matchroom. But we'll see what happens. Shakur Stevenson pulled up on Vasily Lomachenko, and Loma was saying stuff like, forget the gloves, let's fight right here. And then Shakur Stevenson calling him a duck, calling him the P word, calling him this and that, you don't want to fight me, I'm better than you, I'm gonna smoke you, saying all that trash talk that usually comes from Shakur Stevenson. He's very good at getting in people's heads as well, getting people angry and off their game, and he obviously made one of the best fighters that we've seen in the recent decade, Vasily Lomachenko, very upset, visibly very upset. And it's a hard thing to say because this is a fight that I think that Shakur Stevenson deserves. I feel like he asked everybody to fight, and a lot of people just straight up don't want to fight him. And maybe, it's true that he's not the most exciting fighter. He's not a great dance partner to deal with. Isak Cruz turned it down. Frank Martin turned it down. So I understand that aspect, where he's gonna beat a lot of people, but it might be boring. But he's still one of those generational talents that can give a lot of people a hard time. I just think when it comes to that big matchup with him and Tank, I gotta go with Tank, because right now, like I always tell you guys, that power is like it really does change everything. Like if it was just head-to-head boxing, and there's no threat of a knockdown or knockout, it would be different. I'd probably be more comfortable with picking Shakur. But because that knockdown, power is a factor, I can't go against Tank in this one. Both guys are young, both guys are in their prime, so I think that fight shouldn't be too far from, the near future, because I don't want to see this fight when these guys are, pushing 40 and basically ready to leave the sport, and then it's like one of those Spence Crawford, Pacquiao, Mayweather fights where it's like, yeah, at least it happened, at least we got to see it. But honestly, I wanted to, Crawford and Spence wasn't that bad, but I still wanted to see it earlier, before, maybe right after that Spence Porter fight. I would have liked to see Spence Crawford, but obviously Crawford Porter was a great fight as well, so I'm happy about that. But you guys get the point. You guys get the point that, I don't really want to wait for Shakur Stevenson and Tank for 4 years when maybe people don't care about it as much and they're out, one's more injured, maybe one of them has a loss by then. It's just like, make the fight happen now. You could very easily market this fight, and a lot of people like to say that this fight needs time to, boil and marinate, but at the same time, you're gonna burn it. You could burn it too if you take too long. Every fight has a peak, and if you don't reach the peak, you're probably reaching that, a piece of that decline. So why not make that fight between Shakur Stevenson and Tank now? I really do feel like the time is now, but it's very difficult because, like I've said in my past videos about Shakur Stevenson, he's in a position where it's like, I don't have a home right now. I don't have a place to fight. I don't have a network to fight on. I don't have a promoter just yet. I didn't sign with anybody or make a decision. So that's what makes it a little bit tricky for Shakur Stevenson. He's going to have to figure out that situation sooner or later if he really wants to push for this Tank fight in November, like a lot of people are talking about. But there's no confirmed details. We're getting to that point where it's like, all right, if they don't negotiate it now, then November and December of 2024 is out of the possibility, and you're already looking at 2025. But man, me just saying that is like, dang, time's really flying, because Shakur just fought, Tank just fought. Now we're heading closer to the end of the year. Are we going to see either of these guys? We don't even know. You know how the sport of boxing is. Like, you don't see a lot of these superstars fighting too often. So to see Shakur and Tank at the end of the year, that would really be the best way to, top off the year of 2024 within the sport of boxing. But hey, if it pushes to 2025, that's fine too. I just don't want to wait till 2030 to see Shakur Stevenson and Tank at 140. I think now, when they're both comfortably making 135, why not make the fight happen there? Honestly, I think if Tank really had to, he could get down to 130 and still fight at 130. Shakur can't. But, he's also not to the point where it's like hard for him or it's a struggle to make 135. He's very comfortable at the weight class. It's more so, can he, have that power? Shakur said that's something he wanted to work on alongside cutting off the ring, against Artem Harnatunian. He showed that, the power isn't spectacular, but the eyes, everything else, the reflexes is really good. Terrence Crawford even critique Shakur Stevenson a little bit, saying that, you know, you got to use your jab more, you got to let your hands go, throw these combinations. And as long as Shakur Stevenson listens to that and continues to do what a guy like Bud says, I feel like he'll, you know, shut the fans up and continue to get wins, and more importantly, get those exciting performances that, you know, the fans care about, so that they can kind of get behind you and root for you a little bit, because I just don't think it's the case right now. I think Shakur has a lot of haters. Just judging from boxing social media, I'm a big Shakur Stevenson fan, but he definitely has a lot of haters. When I go on social media, everybody hates on him. Like, and there's that few that rightfully give him his flowers and respect for what he's able to do in the ring, but he gets a lot of hate, which surprises me, because like, he seems like a cool dude. His style is, I'm not gonna say it's a knockout artist, because he's not, but like, at the same time, he's really good at what he does, you know, being able to see punches coming. He has really good fast switch muscles, so he's definitely a talent. It's more so, you know, can he get the people behind him to care enough about him, or can he capitalize on having a lot of haters like Floyd Mayweather did? You know, as many fans as Floyd Mayweather had, he had double the haters, and that's why he was such a pay-per-view star. He absorbed it and embraced that villain role. That's the sacrifice he was willing to make to put more money in his pocket, you know, double, triple his salary, because, you know, for the people that really know boxing and how the business works, everybody knows that it's about entertaining the fans. And when you're entertaining the fans, whether it's inside the ring or outside of the ring, it's gonna generate pay-per-view buys. So maybe Floyd in his Money May days wasn't as exciting as Pretty Boy Floyd, but he made that, you know, switch flip to say, okay, let me play the villain role a little bit more. Maybe I'm not going to be as exciting in these boxing matches. I might have to go the distance. I got broken hands, so let me talk my ish outside the ring, and then when I'm in that ring, just get the win by any means necessary. These guys still can't beat me, even with my broken hands, my hand injuries. So Floyd was one of those special guys, probably the sharpest mind in the sport. I don't care what people say. When it comes to the business of boxing and inside the ring, there's no one smarter than Floyd Mayweather. As a businessman or a boxer, there's no one smarter in that industry than him. And, you know, I'm not glazing. I'm not trying to be his #1 fanboy. It's just facts. It's just like, who has really transcended the sport and made sure that, you know, at the same time they have all their faculties, and at the same time they made, like Floyd says, made smart investments, and have continued to, you know, increase and grow their wealth for their families, and take little to no punishment in the ring. I mean, you know, you're looking at a guy that's gone close to 50-0. I'm not going to count the Conor McGregor fight, but, you know, to accomplish what he's done, multiple weight division world champion, undefeated, in a time where, you know, his resume speaks for itself. He's fought so many great world champions. Floyd has fought the most world champions in the history of any other fighter, and that's something that, you know, no one can really take away from Floyd. And to be undefeated still is something that, like, even in today's age, when you see so many upsets, you know, as you do with a lot of young fighters, a lot of people that are undefeated prospects, and you see them lose their O, you just gain so much more respect for Floyd, because you really think, like, man, these guys really aren't like Floyd Mayweather. Everybody, you know, slowly starts to lose their O. So it's just interesting to see, you know, Floyd Mayweather still, you know, doing his thing within the sport of boxing, you know, when it comes to exhibitions. But getting off track a little bit, I kind of made that Floyd Mayweather reference and got off on a tangent, because we're talking about Shakur Stevenson, another guy that's supposed to, you know, kind of fill those shoes and be the next Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. But, you know, fighting a guy like Tank really proves and shows us where you're at in terms of, are you really that guy? Are you really fighting the best competition, and are you having success in those big fights? Or are you just the guy that, you know, can talk a big game, doesn't get hit with a lot of shots, but doesn't really have much offense of his own? He's going to have to do that against Tank, because against a guy like Tank or Vasily Lomachenko, he's going to have to get his shots off as well. And it's a lot riskier against a guy like Tank than it is against a guy like Lomachenko. So especially now that Lomachenko is no longer in his prime, that fight with Shakur Stevenson and Loma gets a little bit more competitive, if not more so in favor of Shakur Stevenson. But, you know, Shakur and Tank, there's no excuses. These guys are both young. They both have different styles. One's a more defensive style. One's arguably the best offensive fighter with the biggest punch in the sport of boxing. So I can't wait for Tank and Shakur to go down, but we'll see what happens when it happens. Hopefully it's in the near future, but let me know in the comments who you guys got. I got to go with Tank by stoppage. I just don't know if Shakur can stay clean. swim without getting wet for 36 minutes, 12 rounds, 3 minutes a buck. So we'll see what happens, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next Navs Fight Media video. Peace.
That's going to do it for another Navs Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.